And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mike Murad.
And I'm Natalie Hurst. An Elmore County jailer is sentenced for shoving an inmate in a holding cell. KBOI 2 News obtained video of the incident that happened in December of 2012. It shows then Sergeant Tom Robeson of Mountain Home knocking the female inmate off her feet. Prosecutors say Robeson crossed the line then and again when he and his supervisors didn't report it.
Eric Gonzalez is in the studio with more on what led up to that explosive confrontation.
These court documents I obtained say this woman in this picture refused to make her bed and was cussing at jailers. The deputies put the woman in a holding cell trying to calm her down, but instead the conflict turned physical, and the man who reported it says he was fired for speaking out. Former Elmore County Deputy Jason Mittleider says he loved training new hires at the jail. He also taught continuing education for senior staff members. The 32-year-old was a jailer on duty that night. The woman who we'll call Emily was yelling at jailers after being arrested.
If an inmate's upset, the first thing that we did, the standard operating procedure, was to shut the door and let them cool down. In this case, he chose not to do that.
Take a look at this video with Sergeant Tom Robeson at the door of the holding cell.
He's instructing her to sit down. She goes and pushes the intercom. He pushes her across the cell. Another deputy comes to respond, and then I come in and I gain control of the inmate and turn her around and restrain her.
An investigation by the Elmore County Sheriff's Office found Emily's body and head hit the wall. You can see she sits down and starts rocking back and forth. According to the department policy, the staff person using physical force and the inmate against whom the force was used will receive immediate medical attention. But Emily doesn't see a doctor for another 3 hours. Was she crying after this happened?
Absolutely.
The defense says she wasn't hurt. After a couple of days, Mittleider, a current soldier in the Army National Guard, reports what happened to his captain. In these court documents, Captain Lynn McCallum says that he talked to the sergeant about the incident, but he felt it wasn't that big of a deal, so he didn't file a report as required by policy. He says the sergeant didn't mean to push the inmate, and this type of thing happens here at the jail all the time. After that, nothing was done. So about 3 weeks later, Mittleider went up the chain of command, contacting Elmore County investigators. During that same time, court records show that Robeson showed the video to several jailers. One deputy stated that Robeson told her something to the effect, "You need to do that from time to time to get them to shut up."
This is something that he did several times over the following weeks, showing people this video. He thought it was funny.
But that's not what Robeson told investigators. In these court documents, Robeson told the investigator on February 6, 2013, that Emily was refusing to follow his commands, and in order to get her to sit down, he felt it was necessary to assist her in sitting down. In that same interview, Robeson said the reason Emily flew back so far was because he was trying to catch his balance, and when he started going forward, he ended up losing his balance. Soon after the investigation ended, Robeson and his supervisor, Captain McCallum, were placed on leave. So you weren't worried that you were going to lose your job when you...
I knew it was a possibility. I knew that it was possible.
A few weeks later, Mittleider was fired. Why did they tell you that you were fired?
Using profanity in the jail.
Was that one incident?
That was the incident they fired me for.
Mittleider admits he did cuss in jail. He says the following Monday, after he was fired, Sergeant Robeson was back at work.
He still works there, and I don't.
Robeson pleaded guilty to misdemeanor disturbing the peace and was sentenced to 5 days in jail or 100 hours of community service. I asked him to talk, but he wouldn't comment. Robeson's attorney says there's more to the story that isn't on the tape.
The problem in this case is that the video is just one little picture, one little portion of what happened. It doesn't show her kicking and screaming, combative with other deputies as she's coming down the hall. And she has a long history of doing this and a long history of assaults on law enforcement officers.
Mittleider loved his job as a jailer, but is jaded about how it all turned out.
I have nothing but respect for what they do, but I think I'm ready to move on with my life.
Emily has pages and pages of convictions on her record, including battery on an officer and violating a no-contact order. We tried contacting her several times, but never heard back. Sergeant Robeson was reduced in rank to deputy following this investigation. To watch this video again, head to KBOI2.com and click on this story.
Looking for today's best value in a midsize sedan? You won't find it at a Toyota store. The new 2015 Honda Accord. More passenger room than Camry with greater fuel economy. Drive it today, only $189 a month. See your Southwest Florida Honda dealers today.